Of the clock. It is not the movement of the clock that produces the newness of life. It is the movement in your mind. You're going to hear all kinds of things said about you. Throw it behind you. The enemies that you see today, you will see them no more. No weapon formed against you shall be able to prosper. Every tongue that rises against you, God will condemn. This is my time. Truth of the matter, everybody in here is going through a change. You don't have to be ashamed of yours. We are all in the process of transforming to a higher, better expression of myself. Let this be the year that I birth a higher, better expression of myself. Don't let the habits of my past stop me from this metamorphosis. New year, new me. New year, new me. What separates us is transformation, the possibility of change, the desire to evolve, the passion to get up off the ground and stop eating dirt. I'm tired of doing what I used to do. If I always do what I've always done, I'll always be where I've always been. I'm going to throw it behind me. Somebody in this room that nobody would think would be in a church tonight, but you drew them to this place tonight because you want them to be a new me and a new year, have a new attitude and a new mind.
Let's go. New attitude, new mind, fired up, ready to go ahead and start today. We are on fire for this week already. We wrapped up with such a powerful evaluation with so much intention, ready to go ahead and master the details of this week. So today, October 17th, it is Monday, TGIM, another blessed and grateful day to be on here with everybody. We've got a fire topic coming in to today on the discussion of getting into transforming yourself and remembering that you and I are the creator. So go ahead and drop a little bit of gratitude down below. What is everybody grateful for coming into today? Grateful to be alive, grateful for God, grateful for the mind, for the body, for the spirit, for the lessons, for everything that is flowing to and through us each and every single day, right? Had a really strong morning routine, vibrating a very detailed visualization, getting clear on the future, getting clear on all the abundance that is to come. And let me tell you, we are positioned so beautifully right here, right now. So let's go ahead and get into it today, family. We are talking about transforming yourself. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. Take out your pen, get out your blue ink, and here we go into today. All right. So today we're going to be talking about transforming yourself. I've got a couple of different visualizations. As always, I like to tie in. We actually got these from our mentor, Sean, this morning. So this is going to be another good one. All right. So think about it like this to go ahead and start it off. All right. We have two types of conscious minds, believe it or not. Okay. We have the spotlight conscious mind, and we have what's called the floodlight conscious mind. You see, the spotlight conscious is exactly what it sounds like. If you think about it, at nighttime, the fishermen that have a spotlight, what does that mean? They can only see a certain parameter of what it is that they're focused on looking at. So it's the same thing, you know, for most of us, right? Think about being in school. If we're all studying in school and all of a sudden the professor says, all right, everybody, listen up. Everybody's head lifts up and we have our attention focused on what the professor is about to say. That is spotlight consciousness. Okay. Now I want you to think about the other side. It's called floodlight consciousness. Okay. Now essentially what this is like, this is dangerous. This is like driving through stoplights and we don't even notice it. Okay. This is the severity. I want you to think about how serious this part of the conscious mind is. Okay. So essentially we move like this a lot. Okay. We ignore the flood We ignore the floodlight and we act like everything is okay. Kind of the same thing with our life. Okay, we go through so much of life just nonchalantly that we don't even think about it, right? For most of the time, before we got into a morning routine, we didn't even think about it. We just got it done. We just went to work and we didn't even know how we got there. We came home from work. We didn't even know how we got there. We just fumbled into the same routines that we're so normally used to doing that most of the time are not income producing. And we wonder why we just end up someplace at 35 years old, asking ourselves, how did we get here? So it's really important to start to understand the role that both of these conscious minds actually play inside of our life. And I'm going to show you how even spotlight conscious is so serious, right? Because here's the truth. I'm going to get into it as we dive into today, but I'll give you an example why spotlight is so important, okay? We cannot multitask. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not, but as much as you think you can, and I used to be the same way. I used to, think I was the king of multitasking until I realized you're not really getting something done at the depth of the potential that you could really do it when you seriously focus on what it is that you're doing. 11 page revision. So I'm going to go a little bit more detailed as we get in today, but that's how I wanted to preface the training, is giving you a little bit of visual to start thinking about how our mind works and how to go ahead and take advantage of it. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay. Leadership, growth, every aspect of this business is going to require a transformation. That's why we like to say at the beginning that the most important piece is rewiring, right? Changing the way that we see almost every aspect about the business, right? Our parents, when we were young, they told us not to get in the cars with strangers. Well, it's funny because we do that every day with Uber and Lyft, right? So what things like that is a perfect example. What we were taught most of the time needs to get thrown out the window. So when it comes to money, okay, $200 to be able to go ahead and invest in ourselves, that used to be a lot for me until I started to realize that $200, believe it or not, can go ahead and lead us to a limitless skill that we can take with us forever. Okay, $200, $175 a month. There's no cap on the potential that we can make off of that. Okay, so we transform into what we think about, and this leads directly into what I'm going to go ahead and talk about next. Okay, how many are still getting up unhappy, anxious, stressed out, right? How many do we know that are still living this life? Well, you know what's interesting? There's a reason why that cycle is going to keep coming over and over again, because it's exactly what we just talked about. What we think about, we bring more about in our life. So I used to be the person like this. Why is nobody joining my business? Why do I keep losing trades? Well, you know what's funny? I kept just seeing more of that inside of my life, because that's what I was speaking about, and that's what I was thinking about, and that's what I was bringing about in all areas. Okay, why is my body not getting in shape? Why do I always feel like trash? I was speaking about it, and I was bringing about it all into my life. So guess what? The results definitely didn't show. Okay, so when you can start to even Neno's call today, that was so perfect on how we broke it down, the difference between having the systems and having the goals. Right? Everybody can have the goal. We can have the goal to go ahead and hit the rank this month, to go ahead and have a number that we'd like to withdraw, to go ahead and have an impact that we'd like to go ahead and make. But here's the deal. If we don't have the system, if we don't have this step game plan to go ahead and run that play, there's no way we're gonna reach the destination. So it takes both, but it's really important, just like you talked about, to focus on the skill sets, focus on the responsibility, instead of always worrying about the end goal, right? The end destination. With the head down, we're eventually going to get there. But if we keep looking up, it's going to be little incremental baby steps. And I've been there for so long. So learn from me, learn from your mentors to go ahead and save yourself that time. Okay. So a reason why many, we might see them wake up, unhappy, stressed, anxious. Here's my question for you and for anybody else that's going to be listening. What could we do in 24 hours? This is a big question. This is going to give you shit. This might give you a pain somewhere internally. Okay. What could we do in the next 24 hours today, okay, that we've been waiting to do in the last 24 weeks? Go ahead and drop it down below. Talk about all niggas like that. Think about it, right? Could it be making that video? Could it be actually starting your series? Could it be making your list, your chicken list, people that you've been scared to go ahead and reach out to? You never know what could happen when you start taking the action on the things that we are afraid to do. I learned years ago, I would much rather compress time frames than go ahead and wait. right? Think about it like this. Would you guys rather, think about your contact list, right? The individuals that are inside of your hot, your warm, your cold market. Would you rather go through a list of 300 people in a matter of 6 months? Or would you rather weed out through the serious and the curious in a matter of a month or two, right? To go ahead and see who's ready to go ahead and rock and really level up for 2023. This is my key for you to go ahead and compress time frames. One of the biggest things that I learned in the past couple of years, we're only going to get as far as the level of our belief. So the faster that we can open that lid, the faster we're going to realize that success is guess how far it is? It's literally just as close as our skin. It's right underneath our nose this whole time. It just takes getting aligned with the frequency to go ahead and start making it manifest. So those of you that have been on your challenge, how many days through are you? 80 days deep today, but this is the whole point of even such a simple challenge. To start getting the frequency, start getting your state in the place that it needs to be to go ahead and bring what you see, what you envision into fruition. I'm going to actually get really deep into state towards the end of this training. So in about 5 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and touch on that. But let's keep it moving, okay? So a lot of people, how many before this business, we used to wake up and just seem like, oh, today is the same day as yesterday, jumping into the same routine, the same boring things. I want you to think about it like this. And when Sean touched this morning, this gave me another aha moment, okay? Every day can seem similar. Even as you start to get developed, right? We're journaling, we're meditating, we're working out, we're starting to do our yoga, we're trading, we're doing all these amazing things in the morning, but it can start to seem mundane because it's like someone that's bodybuilding, right? They're eating chicken and rice all day. It starts to get plain. It can start to get boring. Well, here's the perspective that I want to go ahead and put you in, okay? Every day that we wake up is different than yesterday, if you haven't realized, right? The world is actually spinning at an entire different piece on its axis than it was spinning yesterday. So don't ever take today for being same or similar to yesterday, because this is an entire new day where you have so many endless opportunities for the people, situations, for the money that could come into your life. So this was something that I had to really get in perspective, because even look at your house, look at your neighborhood driving in. When you start to feel good, when you start to get in that state, even driving home, even walking to your house is going to feel different. It's going to smell different. You're going to look at the trees in a whole different way. You're going to feel the sun shining when you walk out your house on your skin, and you're just going to be vibrating because you've started to realize that when I get into this last piece, I'm really going to tie it together. Okay, so trust me, this is going to be big. I've got about 4 more things I want to touch on today. Okay, so multitasking. Okay. The first of the 4 I want to go ahead and get into. Let's touch back on the multitasking. We talked about spotlight before. Well, let me get into multitasking. If you were to think about it on this call as you're listening to me right now, and you were to go ahead and just try and journal, I'm going to guarantee you wouldn't be able to do it because your mind is going 2 different ways as I'm going through this, right? You're going to be able to do it, but not at the depth that you'd seriously be looking to go ahead and make an impact inside of your life. Okay, so here's what I started to realize in all different aspects. What I'm focused on is what I'm focused on. Okay, when I'm trading, I'm trading. When I'm building the business, I'm going out, I'm networking, I'm branding, I'm focused on that side. Okay, so whatever it is that we're doing, learn to be focused on the task at hand and watch the difference. Okay, getting onto a Zoom call. It does no good to get on any of these calls, any of these mentorship calls, to get on and be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're listening, but you're not really listening. You're getting on to not take notes. Anything that I was getting on over the years, I was intentional. I was not just getting on to just listen. I was getting on every call to extrapolate, to take that one nugget, that one hint, that one piece of action to implement into my day, to implement into my trading, to even right now, I'm doing it today, to implement into my ECX, into my e-commerce store. So to be intentional with everything that we do really starts to change the game. Okay, so forget about perfection. Done is the new perfect. Okay, this is big. Go ahead and write that down. Forget about perfection. Done is the new perfect. Because people have two BSs. Okay, people BS, right? They bull S all the time, and they also have a BS belief system. Okay. The biggest difference is when we can start to change this BS, this belief system, to start actually living abundance, living instead of lack, to live in much more appreciation for what we have and for what's coming, the world starts to change. Okay? Watch this. Doing something, even though it's not as great, is better than doing nothing at all. So for the longest time, I was waiting to put out the perfect piece of content. I was waiting till the perfect day to go ahead and make my live trading account, but it never really exists. I was waiting for the perfect day to go after my chicken list. There's never going to be a perfect day to make it happen. I would rather go ahead and do it and learn from my mistakes than not do it at all and wonder what if for the next couple months. What if I would have just compressed time frames? What if I really would have took the time to make those videos 5-6 days straight for this week? So think about that perspective today. Okay, and as I end it with today's topic, here's how I have 2 things for you, okay? How many of you, drop a T down below if you would like to have better time management? Drop a T down below, okay? So most of you have taken the time to go ahead and do your challenge, right? Nikki's on her 70 days. Shane is over 100. Talina's absolutely on fire. Drop a T down below if you would like to have better time management. Because when I give you this shift, it's really going to make you think. Here's what I learned about time management. Here's the truth. None of us on here, we can't have better time management. You know what the truth is? We can only manage our energy in the time that we have. I'm going to say that again. None of us can have better time management. You know why? Because we can't change time. There's 24 hours in the day, whether we like it or not, no matter what country that you go and fly to, you can't change the time. We cannot manage time. But you know what we can manage? We can manage our energy in the time that we have. And that's the biggest difference. Some people, you're working full-time jobs. Some of you have 2 jobs right now. But why is it that some can have the same similar work schedule, be in a completely different country, and see success? They've just decided how to really utilize and maximize the energy that they have inside of their time. So this is big. So don't ever think like, man, my schedule's too busy. I don't know if I can fit in trading. I don't know if I can fit in building the business if you decide to do so. I don't know if I can fit in, getting PD for myself so I can go out and pour into others. Everybody has the same time, but it comes down to how we utilize it. And we hear it all the time, but just hearing it like that really shifted the way that I thought about it. And to go ahead and end it off with this, here's what I want to go ahead and give you guys, okay? It's a formula that really stuck with me this morning. You ready? And I want to go ahead and share it with everybody today. Here it is. DIY, go ahead and write this down so you guys got it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat as well so you have it. DIY plus no accountability plus false beliefs leads to guaranteed failure, okay? Doing it yourself with no accountability while having false beliefs is guaranteed failure. Trust me, I've been there. I've spent so much time trying to learn the skill set of trading by myself, trying to do it by myself, going on Google and YouTube, going out and getting all these different signatures. I wasted a lot of time doing it by myself, but I realized the power of this academy, the value, the mentorship. Things started to shift. Okay, when I realized the power of being able to have mentorship when it comes to learning how to speak, building your brand, building your business, learning how to invest, getting in all of these coins with all of the education, the value that we have, everything started to change for me because I understood that we can go fast by ourselves, but we go far with the family. Yes, I went on Google and YouTube. Yes, I made some money here and there, but nothing to really make a serious impact. Nothing to be able to do what I do now, to be able to make a full-time income inside of this industry. So this was huge to be able to go ahead and understand and put these into perspective. Okay, so DIY, no more doing it yourself. Okay, I don't care how good, how talented you believe that you are. Nobody got to their true goals by themselves. Everybody has a team, and that's why I love the dream team, because everybody brings different strengths to the table. That is why they say teamwork makes the dream work. And no accountability, right? We talk about that a lot. Having accountability partners, this is crucial when it comes to growth in all of these different areas, right? You can go ahead and ask a P600, a P1000 today, what are they doing to see success? Go ahead and start asking questions, and you're going to start attracting the answers that you're looking for. And last but not least is the false beliefs, okay? If you don't have a belief that you can make money trading, if you don't have the belief that you can go ahead and start an e-commerce business, if you don't have the belief that you can make massive success, that you can make a 6-figure income coming into 2023, I'm telling you right now, You can have the best strategy in the world. You can have the best how in the world. But here's the truth. If the state doesn't match, forget about it. And this is how I want to go ahead and tie it in at the end. This is why we talk about the state all the time. Why do some see success and some don't from similar walks of life? Comes down to the state. It comes down to their belief, right? Any chairman that you see, most of them came from an ugly background. Most of them, some of them didn't graduate college. Some of them never made more than $12 an hour, but they were able to have the belief. They found accountability partners, and they didn't do it by themselves. So family, that's my training for you guys today. If you got any value, go ahead and smash that like button down below, drop some sevens, and here's what I know. October, we had a little bit of setbacks to go ahead and start the month, but let me tell you, we are just getting started. The momentum is still flowing absolutely abundantly. I can feel it. I can see the growth from each and every one of you. So let's go out and have an amazing week. It is your favorite entrepreneur, Define Dreams. Remember, you can be, do, or have anything that you can hold in your hand. You can hold it right here in your hand. Anything in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. I love you, family. Go out, have a great week. Let's go out and dominate. Do something 24 hours that makes you nervous. Let's go out and make it happen, family. Great time. Get to work.